All right, here we go. One of a million people doing videos out there, but pay attention to this one. And I'm not doing the high production value kind of thing. I'm going to mess around with this thing and try to create it myself because I can't wait. This stuff is too important. No more committee meetings, no more symposiums, no more conferences. I mean, well, actually, hold up. I probably will go do those things because they do lend a little value to this process, but at the end of the day, this is about solutions. How do we develop solutions so that we can stem the tide of this addiction issue? And it goes beyond even opioids. It goes beyond even overdose. Think about it. 60 to 70,000 people die every year as a direct result of an overdose. But understand, about 88,000 die as a direct result of alcohol misuse. So the numbers are actually staggering. It's clearly the number one public health issue facing America. If you want to drive down healthcare costs, get a hold of addiction, and you're going to see a magnificent domino effect, a magnificent ripple effect. All right, so what's the problem? Why is this not working? Because it isn't working. The reason it's not working is because we keep talking about the same thing over and over again, and we kind of get together and we talk about these solutions and we throw around these ideas, but we're only ever focusing on 10% of the problem. So let's use Favor writing utensils, Favor Greenville paraphernalia to illustrate part of the problem. If you look at the 24 million or so people in America who are addicted, only 10% of these folks are getting help at any given time. So here we go. Here's what we do. Let's talk about the Favor pens. And we have 10 Favor pens right here. And they represent all the folks in America who have an issue with addiction. Right now, what we do is we handle only one of these folks. This group, the 10% who show up to treatment, the 10% that are willing to do what they're supposed to do, and it really probably isn't even the whole 10%. There's probably only a fraction of them that are actually going to do what they're supposed to do, but at least they're showing up. This 90% never show up for treatment, never show up for help. They just continue to do their thing. So we focus all our efforts on this group. Here I am, help me. Okay, we will help you. You are compliant. This group over here, we haven't figured out what to do with them. What do we do with these people? How do we connect to these folks? Right now, I just threw those off to the side. Right now, we do nothing with those folks. And again, wrap your mind around that. Here's our group, 10%. 90% of our interventions are focused on 10% of the problem. Here's what I know. And this isn't, I'm not saying this in a puffed up way, but I know it because I've done it for years. I know how to talk to a person who doesn't want recovery in a way that is welcoming, kind, and will keep them coming back. And as they come back, they will eventually, it increases the likelihood that they will eventually move toward recovery. So if you're out there, just a couple things really quickly. Understand that there's not one way to do recovery, that it's not a pass-fail exam. And if you start examining your life and talking to folks and get around supportive people, you will come to conclusions and you will start to challenge yourself. You will decide to do recovery. But if you sit on your couch and you just continue to do the same thing and you don't access any help, then nothing's ever going to change. But how do we get that to people? How do we package it? What we've done to this point is we've literally said when they want it bad enough, they'll come to us. How do we actually take this message to the street? This is the part that we don't have yet. Favor Greenville certainly doesn't have it figured out. We're trying. We're going to run around like maniacs trying to connect to people. We're going to go to every freaking access point we can find. But do you see, that is the code that needs cracked. How do we connect to the unwilling person? And even technology, like even apps, if you look at apps, they're really not going to get it done because they presuppose or they assume that the person wants to be in recovery. How do we get that human connection? I'm thinking about, maybe we just do it through social media. Please understand that there are places you can go, even if you're not sure you want recovery, even if you're not sure you're willing to do this. There are places you can go and you can start checking this process out. And if there aren't places in your town, if there aren't places in your area, then start to point that out, because that's what needs to be there. There are meetings where people will welcome you even though you're not sure. There are programs like Favor that will welcome you even though you're not sure. Yeah, there are meetings and there are people who will tell you, come back when you want it. But that has to become the exception. All right. Been talking too much. You guys have a wonderful day.